Alright, welcome back to Miniature Game Montage. My name's Jimmy. Today we're going to be painting some Wookiee Warriors from Star Wars Legion. These models were a ton of fun to paint, and we're going to achieve this look using Army Painter speed paints, and you'll be knocking these out in about 20 minutes per model. I always like to mention that I am not a professional. I think that is quite apparent, and my paint schemes and my methods are just kind of painting for the average Joe. I do these videos purely for love of the hobby, as it is something that I'm passionate about. If you happen to like the video, be sure to leave a thumbs up below. For these Wookiee Warriors, I did use a black primer. Use whatever black you want as long as it has a matte finish. I did go ahead and base these prior to priming by applying some PVA and water, a little bit of sand and rock, and then after that dried, I locked those layers in with another layer of PVA and water mixture. Now to get these models painted and on the table quickly, we are going to use a grisaille, slap chop, zenithal highlight, whatever you want to call it. I'm going with the Army Painter's skeleton bone, grabbing a dry brush. It does have a little bit of moisture on it, and I am just going to work my way around the model, applying a nice solid dry brush of a skeleton bone type of color. This takes about a minute and a half, 2 minutes to work my way around, and the hair on this model really gives it a lot of detail as you're using that dry brush to work your way around. When using this method, you want to be sure that you go in circular motions or just up, down, side to side, whatever you're comfortable with, to be sure that you're catching it from all angles. You do want to be thorough with this color, as whatever you have black or dark on this model, when we use our speed paint, those are going to stay pretty dark. So you do want to be sure that you're getting just about all areas on this model, unless they would really be covered by shadow. Okay, next we are going to apply another quick highlight, again, about another minute and a half. This time we're going to go with Citadel White Scar, and again, I've got a little bit of moisture on my brush, and for this one, this dry brush is going to be more at a 45-degree angle. It's a similar method to last time. I'll just be working my way around the model and really focusing on the highest areas of this. This is where the speed paint is going to pop the most. So for this step, you really don't have to be too careful, just kind of stay at a 45-degree angle, rotating the model around. We want to see some transition from the darkest area to the bone to the white color. Now the first speed paint that we're going to use is going to be the Army Painter's Hardened Leather, and we're going to give this Wookiee a few different colors. If you saw the intro pictures, I used several colors in this, from a dark wood color to a hardened leather color. I also brought in a sand color as well. You can pick whatever colors you want. For this one, I wanted to start with that hardened leather color to make his face a little lighter, and then I'm going to use the same color for kind of the bottom of his torso, as well as the bottom of the legs and the tips of the arms. You will really be able to see this paint just kind of grab onto the model and fill the recesses while keeping some really good color to the highest points. This is not a step that you have to be very careful with, because the hair is going to blend together when we add the next color. So just kind of wherever you want to put this color, or whatever color you want to use, just work your way around applying it. This is where I think speed paint has just a lot of fun built in, because you're just able to see the running into the recesses and just absolutely what this paint can do. Once again, this step only took just a few minutes, and we were ready to move on to the next color. And that next color is going to be the Army Painter's Dark Wood, and you can see I haven't even really allowed this paint time to fully dry before I'm just going in with this next layer, and that's perfectly okay, because I do want to blend these colors in just a little bit where they meet. So I'll start with the head and just kind of work that color in. You can tell it is drastically different, but when it does dry, you'll be able to see a nice transition from that lighter color to this darker color. Once again, you don't have to be very careful here. Just go ahead and work your way around the rest of the hair where you did not apply this color, and you will be done in just a few short minutes. Now, if you would like, you could go back in with hardened leather or dark wood and kind of rub those in where the two paints are meeting to really blend those together. I'm good to go here, as we are going to do a dry brush at the end that'll help bring both of those colors together. The next color that we're going to grab is the Army Painter's Plate Mail Metal, and we are just going to apply this to a few areas. He's wearing a lot of ammo, I guess they're magazines that are going around his belt. We're also going to grab just a few things on his crossbow here, and a lot of the models have more metallics than this one does, so really it's just whatever you would like to be metallic, belt buckles and things like that, chest plates. We'll go ahead and pick those out with our silver color. Now with that step complete, we are going to go back to the Army Painter's Hardened Leather, and we are going to use this just to go around the straps, and you can make this whatever color you want. If you wanted to use a sand golem or even a pallid bone type of color, if you wanted it to be lighter, you could also use grim black if you wanted black straps, but we're just going to go back through, and you can see I'm using quite a big brush here for what it is. We are just going to get the leather pieces that he's wearing. Next up, I am going to bring in some Army Painter Sand Golem just to get the handles on his knives. And I'm doing this just to give some color variation. You could definitely use hardened leather here or whatever color you choose. The next paint we will use will be the Army Painter's Grim Black. It is another speed paint, and I did paint a few bits and bobs on his crossbow in silver prior to applying the speed paint. The majority of it is just going to be grim black, but I did want to see if some silver bits would give it a little bit of variation. So once again, applying this paint was super easy, takes just a minute, and I am also going to use this paint to dot his nose as well as tidy up in a few places. Okay, next we're going to go with the Army Painter Speed Paint Gravelord Gray, and I really like putting this over silver as it has the same effect as a shade, a wash. It looks kind of like the Nun Oil, so anything that I painted silver earlier, I'm going to go over it with this. This is mainly going to be the ammo pouches that he is wearing, but also the knives that he carries as well. And with those steps complete, we are quickly going to lay down a base that matches the rest of my army, and I grabbed just a brown, I think it was Vallejo leather brown. I'll water that down so it really kind of gets into all the nooks and crannies, and then I'm just going to go over the base with this color. For any teeth or nails you may see on the model, I went with Vallejo Game Color Wolf Gray, and I just quickly dot those in. This takes literally 30 seconds. When the base is dry, I do go back to a dry brush of the Army Painter Skeleton Bone. And I'm going to start by dry brushing on the base to see how much paint is on the brush. And really what I'm looking for is, one, it's going to give the base a little bit of a highlight color. But two, I really want to give the model a light dry brush all around on the hair of this color, just to kind of bring the two colors together. So working the majority of this paint off on the brush to see how much I have, I am very gently going to go around the hair and really just overall on the model to give it kind of that sandy look and bring the model together. At this stage, if you're very happy with your paint job, you do want to be as neat as possible and as light as possible. You remember, you can always add more. It would be difficult to take back off at this stage, but I'm pretty sure if you did put too much on, you could probably just go back in with some more speed paint and it would probably cover it up pretty easily. Take just a few minutes to paint the rim of your miniature. I did paint this one to match the rest of my army. And then for this guy, also to match, I'm going to add some static grass. You can use tufts or whatever you would like. And with that, our Wookiee Warrior is complete. And again, just a ton of fun painting these guys up. You can use a lot of the different speed paints to create a lot of different color combinations and variations. Overall, just a lot of fun painting these guys up. You'll be seeing these Wookiee Warriors in a battle report very soon for Star Wars Legion. Thank you guys so much for watching. Also, a big thank you to the Supporters Club. Your names are on the screen now. If you'd like any info on that, a link will be down in the description, along with numerous other ways that you could support the channel. Quite frankly, I feel if you've watched the video this far, you've done more than enough to support my channel as it is. Thanks again. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.